So one more Army story. So, and I don't remember this guy's name because after the Wilkerson stories, it would only be fair to give you this guy's name, but I don't remember this guy's name. I will tell you that this guy was not well liked in our group. He was um, in my platoon, and he's one of these guys who's a little bit slimy. He's always trying to get out of something. He always has an excuse for everything. So he was not very well liked. Not that that matters this much to this story, other than made the story funnier to all of us. Um, it's again, this is another story from Hell Week. At during Hell Week, during all of basic training, you walk every place you go. You march. They put you in formation and you walk every place. So you do basic training is 1,000 miles of marching places. But one of the events was a road march that we did, and you do several of them during your training, and they get longer, and you carry more weight, and they're building you up. But and road marches are a typical wartime military activity. So they train you the proper techniques for that. So it's things like proper staging as you walk along. The way it's designed to be is you have a certain amount of distance between each soldier. So when we're walking down the road, you have soldiers. We're walking one to the left side of the road, one to the right side of the road, left side of the road, right side of the road, and you're trying to leave 5 meters between each person. Okay, that's what you're supposed to be spacing. We're all doing spacing of 6 feet right now. The Army one was 5 meters. And the reason for that, behind that, is that if somebody steps on an anti-personnel mine, it's designed, the distance is supposed to be where it only kills one of you. And so if somebody steps on a mine, it doesn't get the 2 guys either side of them because we're properly spaced. So that's the idea behind it. Hand grenades are kind of the same way. It can get one of you, but it can't get multiples of you. So that's the spacing. So we're doing that, and we're in Kentucky, and it is very thick wooded. If you don't know Kentucky, which I didn't, Kentucky feels, well, if you ever seen the Army green uniforms, the old BDU uniforms with the green and black and brown, those uniforms, whoever designed those must have spent time at Fort Knox, because you can disappear into the brush at Fort Knox. You step a foot off the road into the bushes there, you're gone. So it's very heavily like that. And we've been going along, and our platoon's in the middle, and there's probably 125 people on this road march, and so we're in the middle of it, maybe towards the back, because we're 3rd platoon out of 4 platoons. There's probably a full platoon behind us, and so we're stretched out for miles down this road, and it's just after daylight, walking along, and we've been walking for a while, and I'm walking along kind of in a daze. You know, part of these things is we're carrying weight, and we're supposed to be on patrol, and we're carrying a weapon or a mock weapon. I can't remember if we had a real one or a fake one at that time, and in training, and we're walking along, and we're all just kind of just getting through it. That's all we're doing. We're walking along, and I suddenly hear this loud crashing in the bushes, and turn around just in time to see the guy behind me get wiped out by a deer. I mean, wiped out. And it's this guy. Nobody really likes him, so which made it a lot funnier. And he freaks out and goes like this, and this deer crashes into him, and he crashes to the ground, and the deer tumbles off the road into the bushes on the other side. And all we can figure is that this deer, maybe it was a part of a small herd or something, and half of them had crossed, and this one's all by itself, and we're all in camo, and it's this green background and so it just is waiting and waiting and waiting, and and it finally just decides, I'm crossing the damn road, and it comes at full deer speed. I mean, it is flying, and it comes crash out of the bushes, and it leaps once on the road and plows into this guy who has almost no time knowing it's coming, and he freaks like this, and the deer actually hit the butt of his rifle and flips over, and he falls down, and the deer goes down into the road. And this will tell you how how information spreads on a military base. Later that day, we walk into, it might have even been I think it might have been gas chamber we walked into. So later that same day, we march into the place where the gas chamber is, and the sergeants who are in charge of the gas chamber come walking out, and they're always, they walk out. The first thing they said is go, okay, where's the deer slayer? Because apparently all of Fort Knox had heard about the deer slayer within a couple of hours after this happening. So although he hadn't actually slayed the deer, they went back looking for it, and the drill sergeants went back looking for it to see if he'd actually killed it and couldn't find it. So apparently it got up and went away. But every time I hear that somebody hit a deer, I'm reminded of having seen it up the other way around once.